and welcome to another Unexplained Possibilities podcast. I'm your host, Rose, the Alienqueen, and with me tonight I have Melvin, the Crimson Taurus.
Hey, everybody.
So tonight we're going to do something a little bit different. We're just going to have a little chat about different things. So what is a Bigfoot?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know. Well, okay. I know, but I don't know because I'm not sure if I even believe in it 100%. But Bigfoot and I think down under is called a yowie.
Yes, that's correct.
It's supposed to be quite literally a 7-foot tall ape man who runs around forests and no one seems to be able to get a clear picture of him, and he vanishes just as soon as you see him.
I'm actually a firm believer of the Bigfoot creature. I have watched a few episodes of Finding Bigfoot on the Animal Planet. I think that what they're doing is a really good way to try and encourage people to understand that it's a big possibility that Bigfoot could exist. It's quite possible. There's been so many sightings, so many witnesses. Yes, a majority of that are hoaxes and people that are trying to fool others. So you can rule out those people. But there are too many actual witnesses who strongly believe they have encountered a Bigfoot. So what do you reckon about that?
Well, you have to rule out a few things. You know, were they drinking? Were they alone or with people? You know, when they spotted Bigfoot, like, was it a group spotting or just a single person? Were they camping? What were they doing out there in the first place? You know, you have to take that into account. But saying that, it's always a little truth to every story. So, yeah, I mean, if people claim to have seen them, it's possible they've seen them, and it's not just everyone wanting attention.
And again, like over in America, especially because I don't have bears over here, but some people might see a bear by accident and then, like in the distance, and think, oh, it's a Bigfoot because all I've seen is the fur or it's standing up on its hind legs. Some people, you know, don't understand what a bear looks like.
Well, you know what? I can't say I blame them. You're too busy panicking. Leave me.
Well, I guess that's true. If someone does encounter a Bigfoot up close, they probably do go into that panic mode where they do freak out, and sometimes when your body is at that adrenaline sort of thing, your mind doesn't seem to remember everything. Like, it's a split-second thing that you see, you're in adrenaline, and you just want to run away, and your mind can play tricks on you. So that's a big possibility that some of the encounters people have maybe over-exaggerated because they can't remember exactly what they've seen because bits and pieces of their memory have warped, if you understand what I'm trying to say.
I do. I don't know if the listeners will, but I do.
But I have a theory. I don't know how accurate my theory is, but as everyone is aware, I have encounters with extraterrestrials, and they come through to our world through portals. Their ships come through portals because they're not going to travel billions and billions of light years from one part of the universe to the other. So they have their ways of going through portals to come in and out of our atmosphere. So I strongly believe that these Bigfoot creatures are coming through portals that are obviously in secluded areas where humans aren't going to be able to see it, which is in your forest areas where they're normally spotted. Plus, I feel that these Bigfoot creatures are their natural habitat wherever they come from. I believe their natural habitat is a forest sort of area, so it's very similar to where they're coming through. But as these extraterrestrials come through portals, sometimes other creatures follow them. So I actually strongly believe that's where these Bigfoot creatures are coming from. They're not necessarily a Earth creature.
Not terrestrial.
You're
saying they're interdimensional and not of this world, but another world in a similar dimension.
Yeah, that's quite possible. Because how many people have asked these questions? If there's really Bigfoot, why haven't we found dead bodies or bones or, or even Bigfoot poo? There's not much evidence to back up these creatures living here constantly. And as soon as you see a Bigfoot, they disappear really quickly. They seem to... They're very tricky beings to actually capture. So I strongly believe that it's possible that they are from another world and they're actually coming through portals. I don't know, not many people are probably going to believe this, but that's just a theory that I have.
Well, I don't know if I would say extraterrestrial portals, because I'm assuming if they're extraterrestrial and they're coming to this planet, they would probably use some type of wormhole unless they can jump through different dimensions and it just ends up here. I don't know how the technology works.
There must be a way that...
But I can see some type of rift happening between dimensions, and these Bigfoot creatures are able to perhaps walk on through and keep on going, because none of them seem to be in a hurry. In the little footage that people have captured, they tend to walk at a very leisurely pace, and then they vanish.
I'm pretty sure that these beings, whether they're Earth beings or not, I believe they're very, very highly intelligent beings. Like they're not like a normal like gorilla or normal APC in its natural habitat. I believe that these beings are extremely intelligent. Hence why their communication with each other, like on this show that I watch, Finding Bigfoot, they tend to make cracking noises on trees and that to communicate between areas. So they're highly intelligent creatures. And I believe a lot of sightings, these Bigfoot have bright red eyes, I've been told, which is not normal for an Earth ape being to have bright red eyes, like glowing red eyes.
Yeah, like that is different. What's going on here? That to
me sounds very much, very not terrestrial at all. So that's just a theory. So take it or leave it. I can't back up my claim. It's just something that I've, with my experiences.
So what's the difference between Bigfoot, Sasquatch, even though, okay, maybe not Sasquatch, that's just another name for Bigfoot, but we'll say Bigfoot and the Yeti.
So the Yeti is supposed to be, I think, a white or grey looking Bigfoot being that's in the snow area. Is it Peru? Is that where it's originated from?
Oh, I thought it was the Himalayas.
Oh, Himalayas, sorry, yeah. I don't know my world map very well.
Your geography.
That's the word. I need to go back to school. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know much about that particular Yeti, but I did see a documentary about it once where these people were on they apparently there's some people that went missing. They got killed. It was a group of people, and then these researchers decided to try and actually prove that this Yeti existed, and they found a cave where they think the Yeti might have been, sleeping in. That was a pretty interesting documentary. I've actually forgotten what it's called though. That was a while ago I watched that. But from what I've been told, that particular Yeti was very aggressive and killed people.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't hear too much about those Bigfoot or Sasquatch ever really attacking people. They seem to always run away.
I guess just like humans and other extraterrestrial beings and stuff, I think when it comes to Bigfoot, if they are coming through portals, there's probably different species of the one. Like different races of the one species, if you know what I mean. There's probably different Yeah, different, like, because there's a lot of different colors. Like, you hear all the different experiences. They either have like a orangey colored one, or a brown one, or a black one, or a grey one. There's all different colors, different sizes, different heights.
Different temperaments.
Yeah, different temperaments, especially because I've been told that the Australian Bigfoot, which is the Yowie, I've been told that they're a little bit shorter than a normal Bigfoot and maybe a little bit different in color. And apparently they're more aggressive, I've been told.
Oh, they have Napoleon syndrome, apparently.
Yeah, so, there's one in particular that's about an hour drive from me, that apparently throws rocks at people, like tourists, because we have a national park area. It's really, really big forest area, like it's massive. Apparently when there's tourists walking the walking trails, apparently there's yowies throwing rocks at them. And that actually was in one of the Finding Bigfoot episodes.
Okay, well, I guess I was saying, get off my lawn. I mean, wow.
Oh, I actually think that Bigfoots are trying to communicate with us, but they can see that we're very
stupid.
Yeah, / aggressive sometimes. Like we act out of fear. So yeah, I do believe that they are actually trying to communicate with us slowly.
I don't know how communication goes with throwing rocks. I don't think that's.
Well, they throw rocks to get our attention. I don't think they're necessarily trying to hurt us, or they're just trying to warn us, don't come near me because I'm gonna hurt you if you come near me.
Yeah, I can see that being a good warning system. Hey, look at this, man. There's something over. Oh, my head! I got hit with a rock. I mean,
yeah. But I just think the group from Finding Bigfoot are onto something. I believe they're truly onto something. I don't know if they'll ever find Bigfoot, but they've got some pros and cons there, and I do believe there is something out there.
All right, so since we're on the topic of things that people believe are around, but we can never really get a good...
Mythological creatures?
Well, I wouldn't say he's mythological, but he's more of a modern creature that people talk about, can't really seem to get a picture of. So let's jump across the pond and talk about old Nessie.
Nessie! I absolutely love the Loch Ness Monster. Like, I have a passion for animals, and I think Nessie is just... If Nessie is real, I strongly believe that Nessie is a dinosaur. If it was a true thing that really happened, not a hoax, you know, because there's a lot of hoaxes out there, and they have proved a lot of the Nessie sightings were just hoaxes, but if Nessie is real, I believe that it was a water dinosaur. If you give me a second, I'm just going to quickly Google what that water dinosaur is called, because I have forgotten.
While you're doing that, I am going to say that I, too, am a believer in Nessie, or rather, I believe that Nessie was around and alive, and I believe that it was also some type of prehistoric animal, but as of now, I think it's dead. But I think it really did exist, and it swam around for a minute.
I'll find it sooner or later. It's all good.
Alright.
I'm not big on dinosaur names. There's just too many of them, and they all are very hard to actually pronounce. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes, I know what you're talking about. No worries there. But when I edit this, don't worry, you guys. I'll find the picture, and I'll put it up on the slideshow, and I'll make sure to have the name of the dinosaurs, so everyone's not left in the dark.
Anyway. I believe that if it was real, it's possible that it was a dinosaur, because if you have a think about it, you've got crocodiles and sharks and dolphins, I think. They've all evolved from prehistoric animals, so from dinosaurs. And if the Earth was struck with a comet which blocked out the sun and killed all the dinosaurs, wouldn't you think that the sea dinosaurs that are living in the middle of the ocean, that are in the pitch black darkness of the ocean, wouldn't you think they didn't need the sun to survive? That's my theory. I mean, we have water animals that supposedly have evolved from prehistoric animals, dinosaurs. So it's quite possible that the Loch Ness monster could have been a lone survivor, maybe. Or maybe there was more than one, I don't know, but could have been a survivor of that time period.
Yeah, I can't disagree. It's possible. One correction, though. Dolphins did not evolve from dinosaurs, considering they are mammals. So just want to just throw that out there real quick.
But isn't the water dinosaurs mammals?
No.
I don't know.
If it's a dinosaur, it's a reptile.
Yeah, but if they're water dinosaurs, they're not necessarily reptiles.
No, if it's a dinosaur, they're a reptile, period.
Fine.
Oh, no, you can't argue with me on this. I mean...
Fine. Okay. Apparently, though, there was some other sightings in America in some lake of a very similar Loch Ness monster beings. Like, again, I've seen another documentary years ago, where these Loch Ness monster creatures were actually in some other lake, that was in America. But how do these so-called creatures get into a lake? Isn't a lake fully sealed off from the ocean, or are these lakes that are joined into the ocean? And the ocean
there are some lakes that are joined. You can swim upriver, downriver, whatever, if the water's deep enough. So that's how they would probably get in there.
Well, we know the Loch Ness is connected to the ocean.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I just can't remember what state it was in, but somewhere in America there was a lake where, I don't know if this woman was crazy, but she reckons that every night, because she lived right next to the lake, every night the big and little Loch Ness monster-looking dinosaurs would come out of the water, and she apparently fed them. And I'm thinking,
Wait a second.
She looks a little crazy. Maybe just a little bit.
No. That sounds like the plot of a movie. Lake Placid. That's what that sounds like right there, with the giant...
No! I've seen that movie.
Yeah, with the giant, I think it was a crocodile, and Betty White's character would feed it.
And Betty White's there feeding the crocodile the cows.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Well, it's just some documentary I was watching years ago. But yeah, apparently it was an older lady. I think it was an older lady as well. Said that she'd feed him lettuce or something. I can't remember. But her saying that she physically fed these animals, I'm like, yeah, I don't think that's accurate, because if this thing didn't want to be seen, it wouldn't be doing that. So
I'm gonna have to raise the BS flag on this.
Yeah, definitely. But supposedly this thing has been sighted in other lakes all around the world, not just the Loch Ness. It's just not as commonly known. So just to put that out there, Loch Ness may not be the only one, if it's there.
Something to think about, Don't go skinny dipping at night. What, have you done that? You look so nervous and then you cough?
No, I was coughing because I had phlegm in my throat.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, boy, you picked a good time to do it.
But yeah, I really like the Loch Ness. Like, I just think if it was real, I just want to hug it, because it's just so cute. Like, even though it's huge, I'd just be like, oh, I want to hug you.
You hope it's cute. I mean.
Well, I hope it's a vegetarian. I hope it doesn't eat meat. I'm assuming it would be vegetarian, unless it eats fish.
No comment.
It probably prefers white meat.
Wink, wink.
Anyway, alright. So that is our scoop on the Loch Ness Monster.
I remember, it might have been a year ago now. You were telling me about some animals in Australia that some people came across, and they look like panthers or something, some type of big cat. When you guys don't have big cats over there.
Yeah. So apparently there's been sightings of big cats, and I'm talking about really big cats in Australia. Possible panthers. I don't know, but apparently they're actually, they could just be big black domestic cats that have been, I don't know, they've gone out into the wild and grown bigger than they should. But apparently there has been big cat sightings in Australia. Now, I know years ago, before they changed all the laws, people could have big animals like that as pets. Like over in America, you can still do that.
Kinda.
But over here, we have strict laws. You cannot have any sort of wild animal as a pet. Like, you can't even have a kangaroo. I mean, people complain about kangaroos being pests, and I'm like, well, instead of them being pests and so many of them breed, why can't we just have pet kangaroos? Because it would just be so cute. But anyway. But back in the day, the laws weren't as strict, and people, like, there was people in Australia that had pet lions and all that kind of thing. So it's possible that some of them may have either been released into the wild or escaped, or unless they're escapees from a zoo, which I don't think that would be. I'm sure they would have found it by now if it escaped from a zoo, but it's possible that these animals have gone out into the wild and they've bred with domestic cats or something like that, or they have. Oh
my, can you imagine a lion getting it on with Miss Kitty?
I'm just putting some theories out there, I don't know, but there's been people that have sighted big cats in Australia, and most of the time they're big black cats, almost like a panther. But I'm thinking they're just massive domestic cats that have, because there's feral cats and feral dogs, you know, they're always out and about. So is it possible they've somehow evolved into a bigger animal? I don't know.
That's pretty freaking big, though.
Or have these people been drinking and they just lost the plot?
They are Aussies.
So yeah, it's quite possible. I don't know if I believe it, but there has been some sightings, so I wouldn't say definitely not, but it's something that's interesting.
So where are these giant or big cats located in Australia? Where do most reports come from? Do you know?
I haven't really researched that, but I'm pretty sure it's basically out in the bush areas where there's no human civilization. Like, these people are going out camping or they're going out shooting and all that kind of thing, and they've come across them. So these are isolated sort of bush places that there are no houses and stuff around.
Okay, well, that changes a few things. But that's somewhat scary, though, if you're camping and you hear a little roar, or would it be a meow? I don't know.
Well, so I think some of the sightings as well is they've just seen really, really glowing eyes, like sort of black shadows and glowing eyes in the distance. So they can't really physically see what it is, but they can see how big it is. And they just maybe go, oh, that looks like a cat, you know?
Oh, okay. So they're not even sure themselves.
Maybe, yeah, some of them maybe not even.
I mean, it could be a giant dingo.
Yeah.
I know what you thought of. A dingo ate my baby.
Yeah, that story is, if you actually read into that story, I think that mother killed her own child. Probably not deliberately, but I don't believe the dingo ate her baby. Because if you actually read into that story, they found the baby's clothes neatly folded up or something, and the clothes didn't have any tears or anything in it. If a dog, it is a dog, but if a dingo had eaten a baby, surely the clothes would have had blood on it or scratch marks on it, and it wouldn't have been. Apparently, they found the clothes neatly folded somewhere, and that just raises a flag of suspicion.
Wow.
Like, if you fully read in that story, I'm pretty sure that she killed her own baby. It could have been by accident. It may not have been on purpose, but she just blamed a dingo on it because she didn't want to get in trouble. So, yeah, I think that story was bullshit.
Okay, but back to the big cats.
Alleged big cats. So there was a guy, I'm sorry, I can't remember half these documentaries that I watched, but there was a guy that strongly believed that these big cats were real, and he actually had some videos of these big cats that he had seen. And the videos looked legit. They didn't look like they were, you know. Yeah, well, he had a few videos where he's been basically stalking these animals, so he did have a couple of good videos of a supposed big cat that he found. So yeah, and these aren't videos of like a Bigfoot video where you can't tell if it's real or not. This is a real cat walking through a bush in Australia.
Oh, so it's actually quite clear. And
most of them, yeah, I'm pretty sure the one that I saw, I'm pretty sure was clear. I just, like, it's been years since I've watched it, so I'm pretty confident that this guy had found a cat. I don't know how big it was, because it's hard to tell on video, but it was a black domestic, I don't know if it was domestic or if it was more like a panther. It was probably a mixture of both.
Yeah, I want to see this now.
Anywho, if you're out in the bush and you come across a big cat, don't run.
Don't run?
Yeah, because if you run, it's going to think that you're prey and it's going to chase you.
Ah, that's true. It is a chase instinct. Yeah.
The best thing to do is if you come across a wild animal is to try and make yourself look big. So you raise your arms up in the air and you scream really, really loud and you wave your arms around like a crazy person, and when you do that, you look bigger than what you really are because you're making yourself look bigger with your arms waving around everywhere. So the animal's going to go, the hell is that? And they're going to hopefully run away. Hopefully.
Yeah, unless it's just teed off at the world. I mean, they say do that to bears. I don't think they've seen a grizzly up close.
Yes. Well, the best thing to do is if you run, chances are it's going to think you're prey and it's going to hunt you down and it's going to kill you because you can't, like, even if you try to run, you cannot outrun a wild animal. You cannot, especially a cat, you cannot outrun them. So the best thing to do is either try and climb a tree, even though cats can climb. I don't think bears can, though.
Oh, bears can climb. They climb very good. I think the best thing you could do is just poop your pants and hope the smell drives it away.
Actually, I was watching Jurassic Park 3 not long ago, and the phone's in the big pile of poo, and there's a dinosaur. He's like, all of a sudden walks over, and he's like sniffing them, and they smell like poo, and then he's like, oh, I'm walking away now.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that might be your saving grace.
Best defense. Smell like shit, and they don't want anything to do with you.
Exactly. See? Okay, now here's one for you that's a little bit closer to home, and we might get into a bit of an argument about it. So be prepared, but...
Ooh, I like arguments.
Oh dear. The ETs here.
Yeah.
Okay, well, why do they not just come out and say, we're here? Yes, it might cause a bit of a mass panic, but on the opposite end, it would be the fastest and easiest way to get everyone united and on the same page. You want to stop racism and sexism, killings, all that? Yeah, have a giant UFO pop out over the Empire State Building or something.
I have briefly tried to explain that a few times. So the beings that are on the ships, they have certain rules to follow, and they have the no interference rule, where it's not their job to come down here and wave around going, hey, we're here. That's not their job. Their job is to do things from behind the scenes. But they have done that a few times, you know, with the Phoenix Lights and all the sightings around the world.
So you think that the Phoenix Lights is extraterrestrial and not man-made?
I'm pretty sure that it was them. I can't be 100% certain, but I'm pretty sure that was their way of going, hey, open your eyes, people. There is more to life than what you see here. I think they have shown the planet themselves, but they do it in a way that it's not so obvious. They're just giving us little hints of, the different sightings, But I guess with the whole abduction thing is they're picking people as well, like me and other people. Like, they think that if they awaken all these different people, that hopefully they'll get the message out and waken the whole world out. So they are trying to tell us that they're here, but they're doing it in different ways that a human wouldn't think of. Like,
okay,
humans are just like, I want to see physical evidence and I want to see it now. That's the human mind. They don't work like that. Their mind's completely different. So they're doing things gradually and they're doing it a little bit more discreetly than a human would think that they would come down here.
Okay, so it's like, they pop up to one person. This one person tells someone who tell someone. So 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 6, 6 becomes 12, 12
I think that's their aim, because there's just so many sightings, there's so many abductions / contactees out there that surely enough, they get enough people involved that it'll spread. And which is why I think that people like me who, like, they're sending their ET souls down here in a human form to help the world again. So the ETs that are down here in human form, their job, like me, our job is to educate the world, because we're physically down here and we're trying to get the message out, and we can clearly talk to people. But the ones upstairs, like the ones in the ships, they can't physically be down here, and they can't talk to us like I'm talking to you now. They only communicate with each other telepathically. So it's going to be very hard for them to come down here. Yes, their ship can be physically here, but it's going to be very hard for them to communicate with us, because humans aren't going to be able to telepathically communicate with a being unless they're ready for that.
Well, I see. I have one problem with that. You're speaking specifically of Zeta Greys as opposed to, the few other species of aliens that we know of, like reptilians or the humanoid, like ETs, like Nords, for instance, or even Orion Greys.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure the Zetas have the hold over the planet. Like, they're in charge of the planet. And so I don't think the other species can really come down here and do anything without their permission.
Well, nice.
I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure the Zetas have most of the hold over this planet of trying to awaken us.
I don't
But
know.
like I said previously, they all work together. They're not classing themselves as a separate species or a separate being to the other ones. They're all working together.
But then how would you explain how, like, in the U.S., we have the most sightings of Greys, for whatever reason, and to be more specific, it's usually Orion Greys that are most sighted in the U.S. They have triangular ships. They tend to be a bit taller than Zetas. And versus Europe, a couple places in Europe, they'll see more reptilian-like beings and humanoids. And in Africa, they'll actually see, in certain countries in Africa, they'll actually see human-like ETs, or ETs that don't look like Greys at all, something completely different. I mean, and then even in Australia, you guys, this one particular person, I spoke to him a few times, but his name is Peter Maxwell Slattery, and I'm saying his name because he openly speaks about all of this, and you could just look it up if you want, but he's seen a multitude of things: energy beings, cat-like beings, of course the Greys. So that's why I don't know if I could say it's one group that has control over the planet instead of it being divided into certain sections for this group here, this one here, this one here.
Yeah, but they still group out all over the world. Like, they're working together up there as one, but when they come down to Earth, they are going to be split up into different groups to help different places in the world. Like, one group of Greys can't do the whole world at once. So they're still working together, but they are splitting all the, like, I don't know why you would have different species in different countries. I don't know how that works, but they're still going to split the ships up to, okay, you guys go over to this side of the planet, you guys go over to that side of the planet, and that's what we're going to be doing. So, like, even though it might seem like they're separate, I don't believe, like, I mean, there could be some rogue ones that go out and don't really, aren't a part of the group, but there's also other ways that you can, like, because most of these beings are spiritual beings, so like your energy beings and all that, like some of these beings are coming down through people that are trying to communicate with them through seances and stuff like that. So some of these beings are literally just coming down here to communicate with us. They may not have anything to do with the group upstairs that are working on the ships.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, somewhat, yeah.
Because some people have that ability where they can actually summon or, openly telepathically communicate with beings, but they're drawing energy beings and other species of beings to them because they're all spiritual. They're not all physical, so they can come through like a portal. Mm-hmm. So they might be coming down to visit and all that stuff, but they may not necessarily have anything to do with the ones that are on the ships up there. So there are all sorts of ways that they can come down here.
Okay, and of course, this is still the $1 million question. What is their end game?
To try and save the planet from killing each other.
Well, now you see, I hear that a lot. And, I mean, is it true? Is that really the end game?
Well, what else? I mean, they're trying to protect...
What I'm getting at is, how do we know that they're not being deceptive in what they're saying, or not telling half-truths? Because you, as well as I, we've been on different forums, we've spoken to different people, and some of them, they say you can't trust them, they're heathens, and they just want to enslave us, which, the enslaving part I find ridiculous. Like, if they wanted to do that, I think it would have been done by now.
It would have been done by now. And they're trying to help awaken the planet by realizing the issues that this planet has at the moment. There are so many issues on this planet that need resolving, and they're trying to help us understand that we have to evolve higher than what we are at the moment. If we keep going the way we are for sure going to kill each other. The ETs do not like the fact that we have nuclear wars. Nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
So they're afraid that we're going to nuke the planet. One of these days, we're going to be gone because some idiot's going to let off a fucking nuclear bomb, and it's going to be the end of it. So these ETs are trying to protect us as a species because they believe that we can go further on. They believe that we can evolve from this, that we can learn from this, because every species has gone through this, but I think Earth is at the worst as it is at the moment because we're so divided. If we weren't so divided, I don't think it would be as, as hard as it is.
Okay, so...
They're trying to stop us from basically destroying the planet and destroying ourselves. There's so many things on this planet that can be saved.
So,
we've just got to understand it.
With the division between people, why is that? I mean, do you think that perhaps in the past, and not necessarily the ETs that are here right now, but maybe a rogue group had a hand to play in that divide of people? Because, I mean, living in the U.S., I see it probably better than any other country, especially with what's going on recently with all the police killing citizens and citizens retaliating, and the past couple of weeks 8 or 9 cops were killed and stuff like that, and there is a divide there. But in here in the US, I mean, we see it as you're African American, you're Mexican American, you're Caucasian American, instead of everyone just being American. I'm not from Africa. Don't call me African. I've never even been there. And I don't understand why there is a divide there. So do you think that, some ETs had a part in that in the past?
I honestly think that that's pure human agenda, but I know there was a bit of a rogue ET, but that was a millennia ago. That was ages ago, where there was some rogue ET. You know how I told you about the what did I call them? The controllers.
Oh yeah.
That was in one of Judy's books where there was the controllers, but I think they were here millennia ago. It was ages ago. And they were trying to keep us where we were at, keep humans stuck on this planet and not being able to evolve. And I don't understand why would any being want that agenda for another being? It's just not right, because the ETs, the ones that I'm dealing with, they can see how beneficial it is to be where they're at the moment, and they're just trying to help us get to that point because they can see that we need help.
Well, I guess you have to look at it in a control sort of way. Let's say that they're the ones who somewhat planted the seeds. Like, the planet's a petri dish. We're the little bacteria. And they don't want us to go out of control and advance too quickly where we're uncontrollable and might be detrimental to some stuff that they're trying to do.
Maybe.
Versus, I guess, a more caring type ET, such as yours. And it's like, no, man, let's see where this goes. Let's help them evolve. Just guide them. Don't let them go wild, We don't need that. But so maybe that's what it is. I don't know. So
I just know that the issues on this planet right now, this is all human agenda. And mostly it's all media/government enthused, but I'm not liking the way that this planet's going at the moment, and I think that people really need to look at the bigger picture here. And technology is, I think, one of the worst things that could happen to us because the media are taking advantage of that. I try every day to spread my love to everyone, but you get so many negative people and it just really puts your attitude down. Like, the best thing to do is to have a good attitude and to realize that there's more to life than being negative all the time. I don't understand what you want me to say.
Oh, well, no, you said it. That's fine. I don't want you to say anything. Just say what's on your mind.
Because I try every day to be in touch with my positive side, where I love this planet as it is, but some of the people on this planet really need to get over themselves and stop being so ignorant. My biggest message is to treat people how you want to be treated. If you don't want to be treated like shit, then don't treat others like shit. That's all I can say. Like, why would you, why would you go and call someone a nasty name and then, would you feel good about yourself if someone called you something nasty? Like, seriously, don't treat others with disrespect if you're going to turn around and say, well, I don't want people treating me like that. Like, just don't. Treat people with respect. That's all I can say. Love and treat people nicely, and you should get along a lot better. I mean, there are going to be some ignorant people that just don't care anymore. There's just people out there that are just negative all the time, but you just got to get past that. You just go, okay, well, if you want to be a negative person, then you can be that on your own, and I don't want anything to do with you. Because I basically ignore negative people now. If people are going to be negative towards me, I'm just going to walk away from them.
You're fat.
Shut up.
No, that actually reminded me of a comment from a couple months back. I told you about it when I did the podcast with Erica, the tarot reader, and for whatever reason, the guy, he just called me a homo. I'm not even sure why.
Yeah, okay, so did you block them from being able to...
Yeah, they're gone. So.
Can they still watch the videos, though?
Yeah.
Okay, so the person that called Melvin a homo, that to me sounds like this person has a lot of issues. Like, either they're, I don't know, maybe they don't like you. Like, do they know that you're not white? Are they like, I don't know, are they racist? Are they homophobic? Do they think you're gay because your voice sounds gay? I don't know. Like, people like that have issues, and they need to get over their issues, and by expressing themselves on the internet to people they don't even know is a sign that they need to get over their issues, because that to me is just, it's all hate. It really is. Like, I don't have anything positive to say to people like that. Just go away and stop being annoying. That's all I can say, is just go away. Like, really. Like, what's with the negative comments? Are you trying to put people down? Like, what the hell is wrong with you? That's all I can say.
Yeah. So, but I can't lie. I did get a good laugh out of it. Not the first time. I doubt it'll be the last time.
Actually, while we're on that topic, I have on my on Facebook, I have the Stop Homophobia page, and this guy gets so many negative messages towards him, and it's just disgusting to read them because he always puts them on his page. You know, these people are going out there going, you know, F you, fag, like, fag this, and, you know, you're gonna you like having sex with dogs, like, stupid stuff like that.
Where did that one come from? That's a bit...
If you just read all these comments, I'm just like, where the hell do people get all this stuff from? They're saying all this really weird, disgusting stuff, and I'm just like, what the hell is wrong with people? I'm like, if you're homophobic or you don't like gay people, whatever, keep it to yourself. You don't have to go messaging people like that and being disgusting and harassing like that just to prove a...
I don't understand why you go out of your way just to hurt someone's feelings. So.
Yeah. To me, that's just bullshit. Like, I could just go to every single, like, religious freaking page and start banging on to religious people going, fuck you, I hate your religion, blah, blah, blah. But I don't do that because I think it's disrespectful.
Yeah. That's
so regardless of the topic, whether it's got to do with, you know, the gay agenda or religion or ETs or whatever the topic is, I don't care, but you have no right to go onto someone's page and badmouth someone just because you don't believe what they're saying or just because you don't agree with it. Like, that to me is disgusting behavior, and people really need to get over themselves. If you don't like something, don't look at it. If you don't want to listen to something, don't listen to it. If you don't like someone, walk away from them. Seriously, just learn to deal with your issues a little bit more discreetly without being a complete dickhead. That's all I can say.
I won't disagree with that. So, I've seen cases. But I think a lot of times, too, people who do that, they just... Well, like you said, they have issues within themselves, and it's just a way to lash out.
I've actually noticed lately people are getting worse with that because I actually work in retail and I get to see all the customer complaints come through via email, and some people are complaining over nothing, and it keeps getting worse and worse, and half the time they're making stuff up, they're over-exaggerating and making it look worse than it was, but they just want to have an excuse to complain. All they want to do is bitch and whinge about stuff. I'm just like, you're not the one who works there. You don't know what it's like to be in that situation, but you're only seeing it from your point of view and not someone else's point of view. So you're sitting there going, oh, there was only one person to serve a lineup of 8 customers. You know, this is, unacceptable. You need more staff on. And you don't understand that when you have the whole situation with workplace, you've got staff wages and stuff and all this thing that you got to go through to make sure you have enough team on for that one day, and then make sure that there's team not just at the register but on the floor so people can get assistance on the floor, and people just don't take any of that into consideration when they complain about stuff. They just go, oh, you guys are too busy to serve me. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, because 3 people serving 30 customers is a really even amount of people, isn't it? So you're just going to bitch and whinge because there's only 3 people to serve 30 customers and you don't get a service straight away because you just want 100% service right then, right there. And you don't want to wait 5 minutes. No, because that's unacceptable. So I've just noticed lately that people keep bitching and whinging and complaining, and they really just need to just slow down, be patient, be positive, and stop being such a negative, like, whining little bitch. That's all I can say.
I don't have a segue.
I'm sorry. I'm having another Rose rant. I'm sorry, but
it's okay.
I've just noticed lately that people are just being so rude and so annoying lately that I just want to put that out there.
Yeah. Now, what I was going to say.
Just take a moment to calm down.
What I was going to say was I don't have a segue for that, so I'm just going to say they're possessed by demons, which takes us to demons.
Actually, yes, demons. Let's talk about demons.
demons are scary because recently you got Darren Evans' book, The Zozo Phenomenon. And
yeah. Hi, Darren, by the way, if you're listening to this. I am about 3 chapters away from finishing this book, and I actually can't wait to finish it because I've been a little bit obsessed with it since I started reading it. I feel more knowledgeable on the subject of demons and what they're capable of. I may have regretted some incidents with the Ouija board.
which I will never drop this. I told you, don't mess with those things.
So yeah, when I was a kid, I used to play around with the Ouija board, and luckily for me back then, I didn't have anything negative happen. Like, I had a few things move around in the room, like a chair would move or the door would open by itself, that kind of thing. But I'd never experienced anything bad. But recently I've been trying to work on my communication with spirits and my spirit guides and my ETs and all that. I've been trying to work on communication and different ways of doing that. So I did stupidly start using the Ouija board, and I thought I did everything right. You know, I put the salt down, made sure that it was safe, and made sure that my spirit guides were protecting me and all that stuff. Because I really wanted to try and communicate with my spirits that are attached to my dolls, because I do have a couple of spirit dolls, and I have no idea how to talk to them. I feel really bad that I can't talk to my spirit friends that are supposed to be in my house, which, by the way, don't have any signs of spirits in my house at all. Nothing moves, nothing makes noises, like, I don't even, like, you wouldn't even think that there's spirits in the house, put it that way. And I thought if I used the Ouija board the correct way, nothing negative could come through. That is completely false. All I can say is if you put your hand on a Ouija board, you are opening a portal to everything. Doesn't matter whether it's good or bad, you are opening up a portal, and you should not be using an Ouija board at all. So, the topic is Zozo. So he is a known demon that mostly comes through Ouija boards, normally. You can have him come to you in other ways, but the Ouija board is the number one thing for this demon to latch itself onto people. So when I started using this Ouija board, I had someone there and I didn't quite know who it was until it started doing what Darren calls the rainbow effect, where it goes Z-O, Z-O, Z-O in like a rainbow pattern. And sometimes it does figure eights, which it was doing with me. And I knew, like, because I already knew about this demon. I only knew a little bit about him. I didn't know too much. I'm only going to call him a him because I think it's a guy. I don't know. It's a demon. They can manifest in several different ways, so it's an it, technically. But anyway, this demon, as soon as he came up on my board, I'm like, crap. What did I do wrong? I did not ask for this demon to come through. I did not want anything to do with this demon. In Darren's book, it could be a subconscious thing where you don't know what you're doing in your mind. You actually are. Because if you're even thinking about it, it could still happen. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So my subconscious is calling because I'm thinking, crap, I don't want to connect with this Zozo demon, and then it happens because it's in my subconscious, but I don't know what I'm thinking at the time. It's just in the back of my head.
I don't want to get laid. I don't want to get laid.
You're an idiot. Doesn't work like that, Melvin. Anyway, this Zozo demon came through, and I didn't even give him a chance to talk to me. He just kept going, Z-O, 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 and I basically just went completely off at this demon, not understanding his full history. So I've called him every name under the sun. I've told him to F off. I don't want you in my house. Get the hell away from me. He tried moving the cursor off the salt that I had on the board. I'm like, no. I kept pushing it back. I'm like, you're not coming through this board. You are staying where you are, and you're going to go back to where you came from because you're not welcome here. But I was a little bit cocky because I'm like, okay, this demon can't hurt me unless I give it permission to. But subconsciously, you don't know if you're giving permission to it. So I was basically putting my guard up, going, no, you're not going to attach yourself to me. You're not coming through the board. You're not coming into my house. No way. Go away. But I kind of made fun of it and started laughing at it. And soon after that, I ended the conversation. Like, it only was like 5 minutes max, not even that. I basically went, nah, not having anything to do with you. Piss off. Go away. After I made fun of it and called it every name under the sun. And then reading Darren's book, I realized that this demon can have a lot of scary experiences. Like, he's had people die, that, like, this demon has predicted that these people would die in a certain way, and they did. And he's not sure if it's the demon that caused the death or whether he just knew the future, but it's just too coincidental that several people have died because of this demon, or they've been hurt or possessed, or, you know. I actually started getting scared reading this book, and I'm thinking, crap, now that I'm scared of this demon, I'm letting my guard down, and he could actually get to me. So I've been a little bit obsessive with it lately.
A little bit?
So as soon as this book is finished, I am done. I am getting that out of my mind. Go away, leave me alone.
Until we're able to get Darren back on the podcast.
Yeah, until we're going to talk about it again. But all I can say is demons are very, very real. They're not necessarily, they're definitely from a different, like, I think there's a spirit world where you have the good spirits and the bad spirits, and the demons are part of the bad spirits group. And they can manifest into physical beings themselves. They can come through to you in dreams. They can shape shift into different looking, like they could be animals. They could be different looking people, or little kids, little girls. They can manipulate you. They can lie. They definitely lie. That's their number one aim, is to basically get you to be so scared that you're vulnerable, and they can end up possessing you. I think their aim is to just be in this physical world, because they're in some sort of non-physical spiritual world, and I think their aim is just to get to us so they can be in a
Before we go deeper on that, though, I do want to say, you're liking the Zozo Phenomenon book.
Oh, I'm really enjoying it. It's definitely eye-awakening for me. I like knowing things about that sort of topic, so I feel like the more knowledge I know about something, the more it's going to help me in the future if I come across something like that. So I know the consequences, and I know what bad things can come. Yeah. Like, I'm never, ever touching the Ouija board ever again.
Oh, so you'll listen to the book, but not me, huh?
I'm telling you right now, like, reading this book has made me realize that by touching that board, you're an idiot.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm never touching a board ever again. Like, I don't care how safe I feel doing it. I'm not doing it.
So I want to say I haven't read it yet. I need to purchase it. I'm a little behind. Just been busy with other stuff. However, when I do get it, I will be getting 2 copies, hopefully both signed, and we will be doing a giveaway.
Yes, we want to give away Darren's book to someone, one of our viewers, so that you can too learn about this demonic entity.
Yep, and I don't know what we're going to do or how we're going to do it, but we're going to do it, so you definitely want to stay tuned for that. And we're also going to review it, Rose and I. So she's just going to wait on me a little bit longer.
So far, I'm giving it 5 stars, but it's good.
Well, now you spoiled the review.
Well, let's just say that there's a lot of stories in the book. So over the years, Darren's got his own website. I actually have to check that out. I haven't done that yet. Yeah, there we go. Darren Evans, paranormal@gmail.com. Zozo, the Ouija Spirit.blogspot.com. So yeah, in his book, he's got, like, several people have emailed him over the years about their experiences, and they've been put in the book. And it was quite interesting reading all the people's different experiences about what this entity is and what his intentions are.
Okay. And that's all we're going to talk about. We don't want to spoil it for anyone.
No. We don't.
And you're gonna have to purchase it. And let me tell you, it's gonna be a hot ticket, especially for Halloween. I think.
Oh yes.
I think that's where it's really gonna like hit people, because everyone likes to be scared for Halloween, but you Aussies don't have Halloween.
We don't have Halloween. We kind of do. Like, every year it gets bigger and bigger over here, whereas, like, one year I had a couple of kids knock on my door and I gave them some lollies and chocolate, and I actually have to remember to buy lollies and chocolate so that sometimes they don't come, but other times they do, so it depends on the time of the year. Like,
well, what happened to that 5-pound thing of, what did I get you, gummy bears?
They've already been gone. They're eaten. They're gone.
Holy smokes.
But yeah, Halloween gets bigger and bigger over here, but it's still not a thing yet.
Okay, now we can go dive a bit deeper into the demon stuff. I just want to, talk about the book a bit more, get that information out there.
Yeah, well, it's a very good read. If anyone's interested in demonic spirits, or just spirits in general, like, and the Ouija board, it's a good read.
Okay, so, on the last podcast, I was talking to, my friend Tig, and we got on the topic of demons, and I threw out there that we don't really know enough about them to really say if they are pure evil or if they're just acting based off of their natural selves and what they know. I mean, for us, they're just evil. Anything that will scratch someone, attach themselves to them, try to kill them or whatever.
I actually think it's a little bit of both. I don't think they're necessarily evil like the devil, but they are very bad spirits because they're deliberately they're attracted to your emotions, so fear and anger and all that. So they're deliberately trying to get you to be scared of them so that they can latch onto you a lot easier, because as soon as you let your guard down and you're vulnerable, they'll be able to possess you quite easily. So I think their aim...
But why? That's the thing. Are they trying to get energy out of you? Is that how they feed? Is that how they survive?
I'm pretty sure that's one aspect of it, yes.
Because...
But
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Keep going.
No, you're right. Like I said before, I think because they're in a non-physical plane, I think they want to be in the physical world, so they're deliberately trying to latch onto people and possess them so that they can physically be here. And because when people are possessed, they can do nasty things. They can commit murder and hurt people, and I think they get a lot of joy out of that because that's just their personality. Like, they just enjoy pain, conflicting pain, and I think there's a thing where people think that they're coming from hell, like hell's full right now, and all the demonics are like escaping out of hell because hell's too full, and that's just another theory that people have been going with.
That kind of sounds like Lucifer. It's a comic book / TV show. And yeah.
I have been watching Lucifer on TV, but recently I've decided that it's getting really boring. Because it's really just a crime show. I'm like, I don't want to watch a crime show.
Yeah, it's based off the whatever. I won't nerd out right now, but
I just want to watch this hot Lucifer dude, just be really badass. I like Lucifer. He's a really awesome character, but every episode's about a different freaking crime. I'm like, I don't want to watch a crime show. I just want to watch Lucifer.
Well, you know what, though? That brings us to this. What if we're perceiving them as evil? And because, again, their deeds, what we consider bad, what if they consider good or something? I doubt it. But,
I think demons are just really fucked up people. Really fucked up spirits, and they like inflicting pain, and they like the chaos. They feed off of it, and it makes them happy in some sick weird way.
Which makes me wonder, what is their world like? What does it look like?
I don't know.
What goes on there for them to be like this, and that is their whole livelihood.
It's possible that they're in the darkness because maybe these demons were really awful people and they've passed away and they've gone into this demonic world, kind of like a hell because they were bad. And maybe they're just in darkness and they're trying to escape the darkness because there's nothing to do. Like, they're bored. I don't know.
Well, now you see, I always believed that demons and humans were two totally different things. I never believed that humans can become demons.
No, I don't necessarily believe that. I just meant maybe the person's spirit. Because you can have more than one past life, so.
Yeah. And then why are all of them when they're drawn or in diagrams and stuff, why are they all so freaky looking? I mean, is that intentionally to just scare
That's what I've been wondering, because a lot of the illustrations you have all a half dog head with a chicken leg and all that sort of thing. I think that's just to scare people.
So, hey, it's working.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it, I'm like, that's demented, but I mean, demons are sick, twisted, demented spirits. So, but they can manifest into anything. I think they just choose certain bodies because they want to scare people. So.
Yeah, and then of course they could mimic your voice as well. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you recall this episode of Ghost Adventures, but it was Return to Bobby Mackey's, and Zach and them, they had an audience with them, and some strange things started to happen, and over the walkie-talkie, it was Zach's voice coming through saying, "Hey, don't come back here," or something like that, and Zach never said that. And it was just very bizarre. So I do know they can mimic people's voices.
Oh, definitely. Because what I've been told is when you're possessed, you feel like you're not really in your body, that you're just watching yourself. So you're sort of there, but you can't control yourself. You can see what's happening, but you can't control it. But then other times people don't remember. Like you said, you'll say something, but they're like, "No, I didn't say that." Because it wasn't really them. It was another spirit controlling them. So it's like maybe you black out or something while it's happening.
Now, here's another question. How do you combat something like that? Or do you just have to take it?
I've been told it's really hard to fight it off. Like when they can get themselves latched onto you, it is really hard to get rid of them. I think the best way to get rid of them is an exorcism. I think that's really the only way to do it. I've been researching exorcism and it's very real. And I don't necessarily believe in the whole religious side of it because I'm not really religious, but putting in a good word, from the Bible and that, putting in those good words is kind of the opposite, because it's like yin and yang. You've got the good energy and the bad energy. So the bad energy wants to stay, but by reading the Bible verses and stuff, that's supposed to be good energy coming from the priest because the priest believes it. So that's supposed to scare the demon out of you, which it works. I've seen a few different documentaries on it.
So
and
it's words have power, which is true. Words do have power.
Yeah, it's true.
Because so many people believe in it, it adds to that power.
Yeah, definitely.
Which, it could be the same with demons as well. Because so many people believe in a certain one, it could actually be giving it power. So.
Yeah, and I actually think the more people know about this particular demon that Darren is written about, the more people know about this demon, the more it has power over people. And the more it's in your subconscious, that if someone knows about the demon, they're using the Ouija board, it's going to pop up. But there are also people that don't know anything about it and it pops up because it's just vulnerable, But the more people know about it, the more powerful this entity comes.
And then the other thing too is I doubt that Zozo is its real name. This is just me thinking that. And the reason for that is because names hold power. I mean, even by modern standards, they have a lot of power. You get someone's name and maybe a little bit of other info. You could make credit cards in their names. You could ruin their credit. You can buy a house in their name. You could do so much, and that person's life is ruined.
Yeah, demons don't normally use their real name.
Such as Lucifer. That's a name that's thrown around a lot.
Oh, the devil has many names. there's many names to call the devil, but like as I've been watching that Lucifer episode, it's kind of describing that he's not really the bad guy. He's punishing people that are doing bad stuff. He's not the bad guy. He's just the one that has to punish people.
Yeah, well, now since you mentioned the show, like we'll go into a little bit of biblical stuff. How I see, and a lot of people, oh God, growing up, I got it for this. How I see it is he exhibited free will. Free will isn't, exclusive to humans. Why wouldn't other supernatural beings have it as well? It's not that he defied his father. Well, if you want to get technical, yes, he did. But he loved him so much that he didn't want to bow down to someone else but him. He didn't understand that, and going even deeper into it, every story, no matter what, whether it be a love story, a comedy, no matter what, every story has a hero and a villain. And if it doesn't have a villain, someone is made into the villain at the end. And that was his role, definitely. No matter what. And it's somewhat messed up, and I would be angry about it myself. But I totally forgot the point that I was going to make here. Oh well, I guess it wasn't that good.
Oh, you're funny.
Oh well. But yes, demons are something else. Don't mess with them. Stay away from them if at all possible. Don't go
All I can say that is if you're curious about demonic spirits and the Ouija board and all that kind of thing, do not be stupid. Just stay away from it.
Instead, go read the Zozo Phenomenon.
One thing is, if you might think it's cool and creepy and want to scare your friends and all that stuff, trust me, once you get that, once you introduce something to your life, it's really hard to get rid of it. Once you open that portal, there's no way of turning back. So just be wary and just don't be stupid. That's all I can say.
You hear that? Don't be stupid. Because someone had to learn from her mistakes.
Hey, I thought that there was ways of protecting yourself before you went and did stuff like that, but I didn't realize that's BS.
Well, you can never love it. I mean, you can protect yourself. It's just not 100% all the time.
Yeah. I mean, I believe I was being protected, so it didn't latch onto me, but at the same time, I didn't want anything bad to come through, and it still did. So all I can say is just don't mess with that stuff, because it's bad. If you mess with it, you're going to regret it later. Trust me.
Yeah. Hey, so, and again, this is random, jumping into something else. Why don't you believe in the chupacabra?
But we haven't even mentioned the chupacabra.
Well, I just did.
I never said that I didn't believe in it. I just said that I wasn't really 100% that I believed. I don't know. I haven't really read up on the chupacabra that much. From stories and stupid videos on YouTube that I've seen, I kind of ruled out that it wasn't 100% accurate. So, I mean, it's possible that the chupacabra could exist. It could be it could even be a demonic spirit. I don't know.
When Benny comes back on, you two are going to have to duke it out about that.
Definitely. He can tell me his story about the chupacabra, because he'll know a lot more than I do. I'm not saying I don't believe in it completely. I just don't. From what I've seen and read, I just don't really feel that it could, it may exist, I don't know. It's just not something I'm that interested in right now.
Okay. No chupacabra for you.
Well, I'm from Mexico. Mexico.
She said anyway. It, not me.
Mexico, Mexico. There was a certain way that they say it. Mexico.
Mexico.
Mexico. I always just thought it was Mexico, and then they're like, no, Mexico.
Well,
how do you pronounce it?
You have the English way and the Spanish way. In Spanish, Mexico.
Yeah, anyway.
Yes, anyway.
We'll have to discuss the chupacabra in another podcast. We'll talk to Benny about it, and we'll see. We'll look at the pros and cons and the, all that, the stories and experience, like, because I haven't really read up about it that much.
Well, don't worry, he's not a believer in Bigfoot, so.
Yeah, so that's why we're gonna maybe paste out the different experiences, people and witnesses and all that, and just, maybe just put them together and see what we can look at between the two creatures.
Are you a believer in the MIB?
I'm pretty sure that's real. There is some secret government that not even the government know about.
Oh, wait. So, for people who don't know, what is the MIB?
The Men in Black.
And we're not talking about Will Smith or Tommy Lee Jones.
No, we're talking about actual secret government that are associated to the extraterrestrial subject, and I strongly believe that is an existing thing, because there are people that work in a secret government society that not even the normal government society know about, like not even the president. Like, these are people that keep secrets from the world and constantly, Area 51, all that stuff, constantly researching and have all the evidence and all that about the extraterrestrials and cover-ups. Definitely cover-ups.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a strong believer of the MIB. I don't have any doubts that they don't exist, because it's just too much crap that gets covered up.
One thing about them is they said they show up after a very, very, very close encounter. I mean...
Oh, yeah. They will scare the living crap out of people that have experienced stuff so that they keep themselves quiet. They don't want people talking about their sightings and stuff. So they will do whatever they can to shut you up, even if that means that they're going to kill you. So
yeah, you're going to get a knock, Rose.
Let them knock on my door. I don't have anything to hide. Sometimes when I drive past the Air Force, I just want to get out of my car and yell at them, going, "Fuck you! I know you know the truth because you fly in the air all the time. How do you not know the truth?"
And then I will see on the news, crazy Aussie lady.
Yeah.
Yelling at Air Force.
Being taken to the mental institution.
Yeah, so don't do that.
No, I won't. But yeah, if they want to knock on my door, feel free to knock on my door. But
yeah, but for some
reason, I don't have anything to hide.
For some reason, they show up after certain encounters. Not every single encounter, but usually if it's some type of physical encounter, they pop up and they take evidence away and they say you didn't see nothing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Of course.
I think it's bullshit, though. Like, why would you want to cover up extraterrestrials? Like, what's the big deal? Like, well, that's right, because they want to make sure that we're enslaved on this planet and we can't evolve higher from what we already see on this planet. They just want to keep us here. So they don't want us to know about what's out there. They just want us to keep us in here. I'm not happy in this little bubble, okay? I want to get out there. One of these days I'm going to leave this planet and I'm going to be happy.
The other thing, too, you mentioned that this is a government that the president doesn't even know about. And I don't think you're familiar with John Lear, but John Lear, his family created the Lear jet, which is a private jet, used everywhere. Awesome thing if you can afford it. And he was a pilot. He's seen things. Like, he's seen UFOs in the sky and stuff.
There's so many pilots and people that work for NASA that are well and truly aware about this situation, but they get told, like, they get pressured to not say anything about it.
Yeah. He was friends with Bob Lazar. Again, I know you don't know who that is, but he worked at Area 51, and he claimed to have reverse engineered UFOs, their technology for American technology, and did stuff with, is it Element 115, I think? But John Lear's friend, first, John Lear, he claims that there is a government way above the president. The president, he's not even in, the president of the United States, that is, isn't even in the top 10 most powerful. He's like at number 30, if that. There are people way above him until you get to number 1, and that's supposed to be extraterrestrial. And And again, I want to clarify, these are just his words, and he can't prove it. It's just what he believes, and I'm saying it because I think it's interesting. He was talking about the moon one day too, for instance, how he doesn't believe, and I agree with him, that the moon is not a natural satellite. It was brought in from elsewhere, and it is acting as a type of base or whatever for extraterrestrials. Because, Rose, here's a question for you. Why is it that now we're trying to get to Mars, we want to colonize Mars, and not start with the moon? It's right there. It's in close proximity.
I think there's too many secrets on the moon. I think there's actually, it's possible extraterrestrials are actually working on the moon. I don't know.
All right. Now that you said that, it's believed that one of the Apollo missions, when they were on the moon, they ran into something. They saw something they weren't supposed to see. And they were told that this was their last visit, to leave and never come back. And after that, we never did. And of course, there is an alleged NASA recording. I can't remember the astronaut's name. Oh, bad on me. But he claims to have said, we're not alone out here. I'm seeing some stuff. And the other thing, too, why is it that the International Space Station's cameras always seem to malfunction every time some type of object flies into the frame of the camera? Very bizarre. And this was something in recent events that a YouTuber actually pasted together. And it's like, what is up with this? It's very weird. It's like they just don't want you to see anything.
Yeah, just like Google Earth. I think there's certain things that they blur out on Google Earth as well because they don't want us seeing it. Especially there's Google Moon now where you can look at the moon, and there are certain things that have been blurred out and all that kind of thing because they don't want you seeing stuff.
So
yeah, it's just another cover up.
All right, so now back to Bob Lazar and the MIB. He claimed, like I said, to have worked at Area 51, reverse engineering UFOs, element 115. That's what's supposed to give UFOs their power to travel and do the crazy things that they do. And he was friends with John Lear. Him and John Lear one day went to a spot, and Bob told him, look up, this is where they're going to do some testing. And John Lear, he was amazed because there were lights in the sky and just flapping on and off, doing crazy little things. And, it blew his mind. Well, apparently, the government found out about that and paid a little visit to Bob Lazar. And it seems like it was a massive cover-up or something. Because suddenly his credentials have disappeared.
Yeah.
They're claiming that, he may have worked at Area 51, but he wasn't high ranking. He was a nobody. Never worked on any UFOs or and stuff like that. He called them in.
So they're basically trying to make it look like he was lying or making it up.
Yep. And then it was some type of brainwashing or some type of trigger thing going on to where he wasn't able to speak about UFOs or aliens or whatever if he actually even saw aliens. John Lear said that he saw Bob one day and they were talking and he asked him about UFOs and this. And Bob said, I can't talk about that. Every time he would try and talk about it, his stomach and I think his back would or his head or something would just start to hurt, very, very, very painful. They did some type of conditioning to where if he mentioned or triggered, if he mentioned or used a specific trigger word, he would just feel immense pain that forced him to stop. And it's like, nope. And it's believed that the MIB did that to him to keep him silent.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. The government surely are the most lying, manipulative people on this planet.
Yeah, so it is what it is.
I'm just not a big fan of the government and what they do. I think it's just BS.
Yeah, you are very anti-government.
I think I'm very anti-human, but yeah, government is the number one issue that we have on this planet.
So, but, you know what? Let's start wrapping it up. I'm going to do something I don't like doing because it seems like whenever I do, something goes wrong. But in the next podcast, I think we're going to go off the norm, which is kind of weird saying that to something that's more norm. And we're going to actually discuss current events and what's happening right now, specifically in the U.S. with the police killings and just gun violence, the racial divide, all that good stuff. And we'll be able to get an international take on it as well, we'll see your view being on the outside of it.
Yeah, because I'm not actually in the whole mess. I'm just seeing it from my side, just from the I'm only seeing it from the media. That's all I can see it from because I can't see it firsthand. So, yeah, we'll have a discussion of current issues this world is taking on at the moment and possible solutions, maybe.
And after that, we also have another podcast somewhat scheduled. We're actually have to reschedule it, but I won't say her name yet. Or wait, I may have actually already said her name on Twitter. But anyway, we're gonna have a psychic medium on, and we're gonna go over that. So that's gonna be cool. Actually, having someone who is psychically gifted and can channel and sense these demons and stuff.
Who also has experiences with the Zozo demon, as well as she's connected to the Orion ETs.
We think she's connected to. We can't say.
We think. Well, that's okay, but she can have a discussion about her side of the story, and then it'll be interesting.
So we're going to have some jam-packed stuff, and we're going to have another top 10. And this time, Rose is going to do it. I'm forcing her to do it. I'm putting it on record that she is going to do it. So, Rose, are you going to do it?
We're going to do a top 10 worst demons to encounter.
Oh, no, don't say what we're going to do. Don't.
Yes! No, we aren't going to do it.
So with that said, remember guys, there are things that go bump in the night.
Remember to say hi to them.
Bye everybody.
Bye!